Hello everyone. I'm gonna do some pre-stream, get things right here. All right, there we go. And I'm gonna set up title. Actually, title might be okay. I'm gonna pick back up on Dice of Gods, software development. See, I'm already off center. How do I do this? This is where I want to be. Okay. There we go. Close enough. And for when I inevitably slouch. All right. Oh, I was gonna check levels. Let me switch. Let's see here. Let's get the code open real quick. But my mic seems especially hot today. Dice of Gods. And over here. Bluetooth up. Turn off Bluetooth over here. Cool. All right. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. All right. I'll actually go and leave my audio over there. Okay, and let's kick up our, see, I do this, there we go. Let's kick up our dev server, yarn, next dev. And try and figure out where I left off and where we want to go. So let's get Excalidraw up. Hopefully my notes are still here. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, so we had successfully got some of the dice mechanics put together. Local host. So all of this is actually on-chain data. Well, not this. The dice setup is in the database, but the ability stock is coming from the Altura marketplace. Altura, which we're gonna need up here. I probably need, let's see here, I'm gonna need developer dashboard, but I also need the marketplace. Let's see here, dashboard. Go ahead and take care of that real quick. One of these days I am definitely going to end up accidentally clicking to open that note instead of copy it on stream. That will be great. All right. Has it been 24 hours since we got our test BNB? Let's see here. BSC testnet faucet. Oh, you know what? I should grab some Go early funds while I'm at it, because I do not have enough. Let's see here. Rough C, huh? That looks rough. More rough. I don't. Is that? Sure. All right. Now I want to put this in this wallet. Got 30 minutes left. All right. Should set like a reminder. All right. So welcome. Let's figure out, let's see here, I probably want PG admin open because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with the database. Which means I'm going to need to grab that password. Alrighty, I'll pop open Dice of Gods, tables. Just do a quick select script here. Yes, I know I need to update this. All right, so that's good. There's our character. Do I want to join? Let's just select from dice, and that needs to be in quotes. There's my 3 dice. Dice side, and here should be all 6 sides of all 3 dice. Cool. All right. So I think, so yesterday I was talking about, like, do we make the dice customization stuff now, or do we jump into battling? And I think while the battle mechanics are going to be super satisfying to like actually build out, I want to at least get to the point where these, if like, I think I'm gonna say if I hover over, or if I click on this, that'll open up like like a box that's been opened up. I don't know if you've ever seen like a flat box template, so it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. So when I click on that, that'll pop open and it shows me the actual abilities versus what it's showing now. All right, and to do that, let's find our dice manager. Oh, still open. All right. And I'm actually okay having these like this. No, I'm not. I'm going to map this out. So this is going to be dice map. And then we'll have a die and the index. That's returning this. So instead of dice 0, we'll have our die. And oh, do I need the index? I guess I don't, because yeah, but I do need to add a key to this. So key is going to be like dice manager die, and we'll pop in the unique ID here, so die.id. That way whatever happens with these is consistent. Clean things up. Oh, do we have something actually wrong here? So we have our dice index, so that goes to there and there. It's expecting something else. We're missing one of these. We should be good now. There we go. Okay. So if I don't need this, get rid of this and come back here, I should see, cool, it looks exactly the same. How exciting. All right, and our ability list is kind of like an inventory of options. I don't really need that here as much as I'm gonna need it in here, but we'll hold on to it for now. All right. And I'm over here, camera. I think I need to change the way my camera's mounted. It's like just kind of barely touching the top of the monitor, and as things bounce around, I think it moves slightly. All right, so I was gonna say that, let's see here. All right, so we can add an on click on this that shows our other element. How do I want to handle that? Let's see here. I'm gonna have a new file. Let's add dice expanded or flattened. How about just flat dice? There we go. All right, so we're gonna export a constant here of flat dice. Perfect. And this is gonna return all of our, let's see here, should I use grid for this? Div. So we need a container for this whole thing. And then I need to build my 6 boxes. Let's see here. I think grid layout's gonna be the best for this, but I'm not, like, I use flex most of the time because it does what I need most of the time, but this definitely seems like how I would want. So how does this grid, and I've got columns and ooh, what was that? I don't know. All right, columns, rows, gaps, etc., etc. All right, so the grid container is displaying as grid with the column gap. Yep. What about item, column start, column end? Okay. So we need, this would be my grid container. And grid. Let's just look at the Tailwind for grid real quick. All right, so which one of these things do I want to start with here? Probably. Okay, so grid container. Okay, we are our gap. Yep, let's do some gap. Probably only need like 2, and then we have 4 grid columns, right? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. And then grid rows is going to be 3. All right. And then this is class name. Height. What we used in the dice was perfect. So it was a height of 24 and a width of 24. H24, W24. Let's just say hi. So, oh wait, let's see here. This is gonna be weird though, because the top one needs to be like a start at 3, end at 3. Grid. How do we do that? Grid. Row start end. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be start 3, end 3, grid row start 3, grid row end 3. Why is this not in here? Oh, because it's not that. It's just row start and row end, I think. Wait, is that better? Row start, row end. And it needs border, or we're not going to see it. Did we pick for that? Yep. Okay. So what does this look like? Oh, we need to include it somewhere. So let's go ahead and put this in our dice manager. So we'll say that it can be in here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter because it's gonna be like absolutely positioned anyhow. So I think we can put it right here, but only if the person clicks on it. Huh. Do I want to make this actually part of this and like move this into the dice? Maybe. Because then each one of these can have its own state, which will control whether or not it's open and closed, and it'll just be a little bit more simple, I think. Let's do that. So this isn't really flat dice anymore, it's just dice, but let's see here. So I'm gonna wrap this in fragments because now we're gonna have two children. Oh, lost my code. There we go. And JSX elements only really want to return one. All right, fix all. There we go. And then is this gonna take? This is gonna take a die, which is a dice side. Not export. I'll create a type for this. So type flat dice props and die is a dice side. Really? No, this is actually a dice. All right, at least in theory. Okay, and then we need to apply the props. There we go. So a lot of this stuff should, oh, but the dice doesn't, see, this is one of those things about inferring types is amazing and works most of the time, although I find it to be a lot more clear when I have defined types rather than just inferred types. That's okay, it's here. So the thing is, so this has dice, a die is including, let's see here, what does this actually say then? How is this defined? So it's dice and, yeah, that's basically what I'll say. Dice and sides. So like this. I mean, actually, I'll just grab this whole thing because that's exactly what it's going to be. And we'll drop that in here. And this is a die. And you import the dice side. There we go. All right, so now, oh, it's possibly undefined. Yeah, that's true. Sort of. I mean, this is one of those things that this would be, you could assert that it's a non-null value, but I don't like using non-null assertions. And the reason is because it's not recommended. Let's just say, we'll just drop our optional dice sides. Sides should not be implicitly any. We should be able to infer that from dies. Except for it literally does, right? Die is this, which is a dice and an object with the sides, which is an array of sides. And this is going to be, oh, this is thing, oh, yep, this is not, there we go. Sorry, I was expecting an array, and this is singular. Perfect. All right, so we'll CLSX this. Let's see here. We'll replace this with CLSX. No? Am I using the wrong abbreviation? Where's one that has this? Sorry, let's close some things. Okay, the login modal. Yeah, CLSX. Yeah, that's CLSX. So I was complaining. Maybe he just doesn't like this stuff. All right, CLSX. All right, I don't know. Sometimes errors like that affect whether or not things will auto import, and other times they won't. All right, so we have these are always, and then we'll have this. So hidden is opposite of is open, and we'll add that to yeah, it's fine. We'll just say so const is open, set is open, we'll use state and start that as false. There we go. And then what we'll do is also have a const handle. I could do this inline. No, I'll keep it clean. Handle click, use a function, and yep, that's basically exactly what we want. So the click will be on this div. Click. Okay. So now we need to include this back in the dice manager. So, oh, before I do that, let's rename this. This is not flat dice. This is just dice. But that's going to conflict with the type. Dice. Naming things is the worst. It's like one of the hardest things about being a developer, honestly. I do so many things in my life to avoid having to make decisions, so that and like wearing the same thing, the same sort of thing every day. Like I wear jeans and a graphic tee pretty much every day, unless I'm getting all dressed up nice for an event of some sort. You know, it's like we pretty much always have Chinese food on Monday, so that we don't have to make a decision about what that meal is. And so I try and do as many blanket decisions as possible, so that when it comes time to make a variable, I do not have decision fatigue. Right now I am blanking. Dice configurator. Let's just say dice config. I like that. And so then this would be dice config props, and that goes there. No, just this part. Thank you. All right, and then rename the file to dice config. Boom, and then we'll include that over here, dice config, and the key can still be all that stuff, and we're still passing the same sort of thing. All right, so if I save this and I go back to the other file, it should work. Yay! I always love it when, again, not exactly exciting because it looks the same, but you know, we just made changes and I'm not debugging them, and I appreciate that. Oh, but if I click on this, it breaks things predictably though. Like that's great. I mean, that's a start. All right, so yeah, let's use the same border. So let's see here. Yeah, we'll use the same. No, not for that part, for this part. So this should look the same as the other one now. Okay, cool. Why did that move up there? Oh, because it's flex? It's just, nope, that didn't. Okay, that was kind of strange. If I close it, it goes away. This one can open, this one can close. Okay. But this wrapper needs to be, oh, I figured this out the other day and I forgot already. Absolute. Okay, for now I can't close it. Oh, wait, no, it should be able to close still. And then inside of that, we have a div. What's here? This would be, let's wrap. No, yes. Class name. So this one would have most of this stuff in it actually, and this would be positioned relatively, and would wrap this. All right, how does that look? Making console errors or something? Oh, wait, what? What's happening? All right, so if I click on this, you can click on that. I should be able to still click on these two. What is this? Oh, this is probably covering the whole thing and I just can't see it. So like if I put a background on this piece, background, or yeah, BG red 500. Yeah, okay, that's why I can't click on the other ones. All right, but this is actually closer than I think, because what I need to do is, so that opened right on top, and let me just verify. So if I switch this around, so this is the relative and this is the absolute, is that better or worse? I don't know, but now it's just this piece. I don't know if that is better or worse. I feel like this is actually okay. So, and then what if on the relative, is it the relative that I want to be? Bottom 0, bottom 0. Because if I do it on the absolute one, that'll drop the whole thing to the bottom. So let's move this top. Do I do it like that? I don't do it like that. So what's the top position? 0, 0, but what about, I think it's the variable version is like in brackets or something. Here we go. X, Y. Maybe I do want to use one of these helpers. I don't. Let's just say top 2. What does that do for us? It looks like it pushed it down just slightly. If I do top 5, so it's pushing this element down, but not this, which, Oh, maybe this is what I want. Like I want to anchor this down to the bottom of that die, or I don't know. Maybe I don't. Let's add the rest of our dice just real quick. So going back to, there we go. This is exactly what I want, basically. So the second one is, how do I jump down to this next column? Because this would be call start one. I don't know if that matters. Call start one, call end one. So if we take this whole ridiculous mess, and then the next one would be call start 2, call end 2, but we're going to where's the row? I thought I had the row start on here, did I not? Row start? No? Okay, so that's why this one's at the very beginning. Row start 3, row end 3. Now it should be over. That's the second one. Oh, that's the column. This is row 1. Column is 3 and 3. That should be over there, okay. And then this one would be row 2. And we're gonna call start 1. There's, I'm sure, a better way to do this. And 1, I guess, but this is predictable, so there's that. And 2, 3, and 4. And then we're gonna have row 3, which is gonna start at 3 and end at 3, and now we should have an unwrapped dice. Hey, look at that. That's pretty much exactly what I want. And you know what? I do want them touching, I think. Or do I want them all? Let's see here. So where was the gap? Which I thought was gonna be everything. Gap, yeah, just gap 2. Why would I do not have gap in between these right and left? Is that because there's not enough space for it, maybe? I don't know. So if I make the wrapper for this with full, I mean, it's already okay. What would I want to say then? With, what's a good width? With fixed widths. I don't want percent per fractions. I want this to be a fixed width. I guess I can use W. Do I? Ooh, yeah, we can do screen. This is just should tell me what. Yeah. Oh, what? That's really strange. I mean, that's not what I wanted anyways, but I think it confirms that the gap. So it's not in 4. This box is like, should be the size of these. So why on earth would it not like enforce the gap? I'm disappointed. The kid is pushing this out. This is this box should be containing this. Padding P5. Let's get at least some padding on here, which is making things worse. Holy moly! Why? This isn't grid. I feel like this really isn't. All right. I mean, like, I appreciate that it let me do that layout, and that was relatively simple. But honestly, like, the fact that it's smushing it together, especially like when I added padding, it smushed it even more, and to the point they're overlapping. This seems like really bad. It does not make sense. Meanwhile, the height is fine. It's expanding the height this much. Like, I don't have anything limiting this with full. And it's absolutely positioned. This piece is absolutely positioned. So let's see here. If I get rid of relative, I don't think this is. Oh, that's interesting. So what do I want to do? All of these are H24 and W24. So if I go 24 times 4 is 96 plus how much gap? 1, 2, 3 plus 15. So it'd be width of 111, which I don't think is the right way. But to do a fixed width, it's like brackets or something like that. And is that right? Do I need to put PX? I don't think so. Oh, what? Oh, wait a second, because that's 24. What is 24? Oh, with the 24 actually 6 rem, so it'd be 6 rem. Rem. Now it's way too big, but. And where does that other guy, it goes like way over here or something, which doesn't make any sense to me either. Let's put this back at relative. So this is gonna, it would push things around. Woo, yep. But then we would put absolute in this one. Yeah, it's totally the other way. So it is absolute for this one, and then a relative on this one, and then it's not 111 rem. Let's just say 800 pixels for a second and see. Okay, so it's bringing it back in here. Top 5, right? 0, is that the one that? Okay, that's a little bit better. And top 0. If we bottom 0. No, it'd be. Is it top 0 then? Neither one of those seem to do what I expect that they would do. All right. What I want to know, grid is being deformed. No, I don't care about ignored. Preventing grid blowout. Because this thing, I want to be able, it should just be, just fit, just grow to the size you need to be, and then let the wrapper deal with the rest. Oh, what was FR again? I forget. That was a super useful. I feel like none of this is really right in absolute positioned div. Right. Hey, there we go. No, that's not it either. Oh, what is FR again? CSS FR. Because this was super useful. It's something to do with rows. Flexible length. Oh, it's a fraction of leftover space in a grid container. So there we go. So this is, yeah. Oh, that could have saved us some time, possibly. I don't know. But there is overlap, and there's overlap in these ones too. So what point does the, or is that not overlap? That's, oh, that's gap. It's all super useful, but is not changing. I'm not seeing the problem that we're having. Oh, that's because I'm looking at FRs. All right, so that's not what I want. That's not what I want either. This is talking about absolutely positioning, like within the grid, or like positioning grid items, which is, I could see how that's useful, but that's not. CSS, here, CSS grid is being deformed. Let's say overlap. No, I don't want to overlap instead. I don't want to stack it. Let's look at our code. Let's see here. So I have all this stuff. I wonder if it's like basically not taking into consideration the gap and the padding and whatnot, because this really shouldn't have a size on it. Yep, it should be kind of like that. So if I get rid of the gap, did that shrink? That actually made things worse. And where was my padding? So if I get rid of my gap and my padding, yeah, it's almost right, but even then it's still overlapping. Why? Does this box have some inherent classes on it or something? So there's that one. So here, this is our main one. So we got our background color, the position, and then there's all this. Man, this is so obnoxious. What if I change to using, let's see here, grid template rows. Grid rows 4. Is that what I did already? Yeah, I do. Okay, so I already have that. And then we're just using the row start and row end. So then we're just, yeah, doing that. So normally it would just fill out automatically. It's like this, not this, these few, let's see here. If I get rid of, I shouldn't need the call start. Shouldn't need any of these things for these 3 dice. They should automatically fall into place. No, they go up to the top and start. Oh, that is obnoxious and frustrating. Okay. Because I kind of wanted to see if we, like, look at this. It looks so nice. Let me see. If this, let's get rid of the absolute and the relative. If this was just right in place, what does it look like? Yeah. It's as soon as I put on what? The absolute? Yep. But the weird thing is, like, I guess that's not that class. So if I do relative here, then this is gonna deform the box, but do it in place. And then if I do absolute on this, it's shrinking because it's not gonna grow, which is why I normally do relative than absolute. Or I meant the other way around. We do absolute with the relative inside of it. Because then you can use the relative to change the position. So instead of, because like I can't change, if I change the location on the absolute positioned element, then it's gonna be like 0 is gonna be over here in the corner. So for top left, top 0, left 0 would put it over here. And then if I do it positioning on the relative one, though, it allows me to move that relative to the position it's at. So if you don't position an absolute container, it just doesn't take up any space. Should I make the relative its own? Well, but it doesn't change. As soon as I do the absolute, it just does not have enough space. I don't know why margins would help, but the padding deformed it. So if I add margins of 5, yeah, that makes it worse. It's getting smushed like smaller and smaller into this box, which it's making, like, it's grown the box itself to this point already. Like, why would it not grow further? Let's ask Google CSS div not growing to the div inside absolute element not growing to the right size. Yeah, I'm not using jQuery to set calculated sizes. Or floats. Sorry. Yeah, see, they're setting specific heights here. And I already tried telling this that it could be full width. And if I set it to view width, is that the, no, I did something else. W. Anyhow, so yes, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. Well, yeah. Maybe I'm just not thinking about this correctly. So the absolute puts it outside of any of these other things. So it is interesting that width full doesn't go to the full because it shouldn't be constrained. Or maybe it is, and it's actually the next, oh, that's probably what's happening. So if I look at this, I bet that the width full one, no, it's not. That's interesting. It is this right here. Is not, and that's with 100%. All right, so it would be, and let's not even think about how we're gonna fix this on like a mobile view. How bad would this be if I drop this in a phone? I mean, that's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Ooh, what's that? Why is there an errant semicolon? Is that in my template? Template layout. There's the footer, so this would be right at the beginning of the footer or at the end of main, so index. This isn't injecting semicolon. So if you look at the layout, look at the footer, so there's nothing in here, right? We're returning just this footer. So it would be before this. And the thing that's before this is the main, which is our index page. But looking at the index page, we didn't see anything. This is returning this. And none of that has any, I mean, it does look like it's in the footer, right? Because it's at the bottom with the footer stuff. If I delete this, does it go away? Oh, it's returning just empty fragments. No, it doesn't go away. So it's not in the footer. And if I go into the layout and I delete this, does it go away? It kind of looks like it does. Let's see. Let's close this. Yes. So somehow it's in index. Just for funsies. No, it's still, see, it's still there. Oh, no, if I get rid of the rest of this, it's still there. but it's up here now. Oh wait, is it in the app? There it is. All right, sorry, got sidetracked. We're good now. Back to the box. Boom, and are deformed. Okay, so I'm not even worried about that right this minute. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I would eventually like to make sure that this has a mobile-friendly layout, but one thing at a time. I mean, it's good to consider that from the get-go, because otherwise you'll end up forced to refactor a lot more than you will if you keep it in mind. But I can refactor this individual component. I'm not gonna complain. All right, so this is our template. So grid rows, grid, and if we go back to the tailwind and we look at our grid documentation, so we have our template rows and template columns. Yeah. And that all works exactly the way we would expect. And if we took away the absolutes part, we immediately, well, that's interesting. Now it's not doing the height that it really should. And these are wider than they should be. What on earth is happening with this grid? Does that change anything? All right, so the width full was deforming. How is that? It must have to do with my absolute size on these. Let's back up a little bit here. What if I get rid of my size? What is this going to look like? Okay, but it's not broken. What if I just get rid of the width? Oops. Too many characters there. All right. That's interesting. I mean, it's better. Gap 5. Alright, isn't it gap? Good rows. Yeah, should be gap. I'm not getting any gap though. Oh, because that needs to be on here. Sorry. Okay, so something about setting the width manually. Also, that's way too much. I mean, I think even just that looks pretty good. Do I accept this for now? I feel like I do. What happens if I put padding on here now? We would pad this element P. It deforms them a little bit. All right. I mean, how would I do that then? Is there not? Because that just smushes them into a smaller space. Why doesn't it allow it to grow? Like, I'm not a fan of that. Oh well. Did I mention CSS is not my first love? I really need to format this box nicely. What if we open this whole thing in a modal instead? I want to try that. Let's see here, Daisy UI. I don't know if this is gonna help or not, but I'm okay checking. No, I don't want to use either of those things, but I'll just grab, so modal box. So this is our, we'll change this to modal, and we'll change this to modal box. I might need to actually change that a little bit. And then there's a class for this. I think it's, yeah, modal open. So this is modal open. All right. And it's not, there's no background like that anymore, that's for sure. All right, this is better. This is better. Can I actually do the width 24 now? So using these helper functions, this gives me some like responsive height and width. It technically works, but the gap is all weird now. That's because the grid is supposed to be handling the width, I guess, is the main thing. So when we manually set the width, oops, that's the wrong, I just got rid of the wrong ones. I want to get rid of the width 24. Also, I should probably just turn this whole darn thing into a constant. Icebox style. There we go. And we'll use this for all of these so that I don't have to keep changing them individually, although I think I lose my helper stuff there. What if we, can I tell it that this is the type? Where's, oops, React element. Oh, it's, yeah, but it's string or undefined. Wait, is it this one? This might be it. I don't know if using this type is going to preserve my HTML attributes. That seems weird. I'll try that. Development. Oh, I'm not even getting development. No. All right. That's fine. I don't really care right this second. I just want all of these to be the same. There's also, I could create, which I actually prefer sometimes, or I could make a CSS variable that gets applied. I haven't done that in a while though, and I forget exactly what the, okay. Oh, right. Holy moly, I am a fool. These all had my column starts and whatnot. Jeezy Louisey. Corey. These have positioning data as part of there. That's kind of important. I could break the rest of it out, which is what I should do. What is this? CSS? No. Tailwind custom custom styles. Layer. Is it layer? Content auto. I thought there was like a apply. Let's see here. I think maybe it's in this code base that I did it. Let me look. This is my girlfriend's podcast website. So if I look in here, let's see here. Let's look at styles. Oh, so I use layer opponents and I apply. Okay, so basically layer components. Oh, I see. So it would be interesting. How do I know which one of these to use? Also, this would be specific to this. So I'm gonna add a new file in here called styles module CSS, probably. Nice. Die. Let's grab all the stuff that is specific to the die. So I get rid of my columns start and end and all that jazz. I think that's right. And then can I include that in here? Import style. Oh wait, no, just import styles. That's not. Just styles module. Is that right? No. Yeah, I get that. So globals is a CSS file though. Probably have to do something with Tailwind. Let's see here. Like, do I need to add this first? Like, does that actually? Oh, that technically works. Okay, cool. But is that adding something twice? I don't know. I don't want to double add anything. I mean, Tailwind automatically removes, like, that's the cool thing about Tailwind, or the cool. One of the neat things about Tailwind is that the CSS that's compiling isn't the entire Tailwind library. It is only the things that you're actually using. So it helps maintain a much smaller footprint. So I'm assuming, hopefully correctly, that including this in the file is just giving me access to the thing like layer components where I can make this die. And then I would come in here and I would go to here and I would say die. No, I broke everything. Is that because it's not being included correctly? Because I did, let's see, this one just gets included in app, I think. Yeah, styles, globals, .css. So I don't need the module part, so let's see here. Let's just say styles.css, dice styles. There we go. So dice styles, and that would be how this is globals to CSS. Dice styles CSS. All right. And that failed to compile. All right, so do I need to put this into, I mean, I guess I can not fight with this and I can put it in, so let's close this out. Just put it in the main global. So I would delete this, which is gonna break now because it doesn't exist. And we can go to styles, globals, and I can just add it here, which then should let me have it here. Is that technically working then? It's not going to tell me what it is like it does with these because the way typing is set up. So is it working or is it not? I think it is working, right? Yep. Okay. So that's definitely working. So what was I going to experiment with? Let's see here. Well, let's go ahead and do all of these things. Die. Isn't it fun to watch somebody just like copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, right? I mean, it's fantastic. But this is removing a lot of redundant code, which should help. So the rest of it is just positioning. Okay, so there's all of that stuff. And then we know that if we, so if I come in here, oh, so if this changes globally, oops. Okay, I thought it was going to reload like the whole page. I wish there was like a height is equal to width. Oh wait, maybe there's an aspect ratio. Let's hear. Grid CSS maintain aspect ratio. I think that's maintaining the image aspect ratio, which I don't, that's not what I want. Not maintain, let's just say CSS grid aspect ratio. Aspect ratio for grid items. Hey, it's exactly what we want. Oh. I mean, we can try this. So this should be something that we could put like right here, which doesn't seem to have done anything in particular. Oh, is this because, let's see here, I still have H24 before. Yeah, so let's get rid of that. All right, so that's definitely not working. Let's see here. So they have the grid template, and then they're setting these things up. Yeah, I mean, that's... is it this thing is what I need? Oh, that's real interesting. So this would be everything in the thing. This needs to be part of... Can it just be here? And this goes on the grid. So this goes on the parent container. So I guess I need to make a class that goes on this one, which is grid already. I mean, where'd my thing go? Okay, so we're still not there, right? Okay. What if I put that in here? No. Sorry, looking back at the example, so it's doing that. So this is applied to the specific grid item. And then this is the parent, which is grid, which I mean that I would think would work the way that I think it should work. And then do we just apply this directly to it since we don't need it necessarily? Well, let's do that to see it's here. Oh, this is a before, right? So if it's got this on it, then before it's gonna do this. All right, so we're grid 2, 3. Super interesting. Oh, do I need this too? I don't. Because I totally understand exactly what's happening here. Well, they're orange now. Progress. I mean, we're pretty close to there. So grid is just like this, which is exactly, yep. And then we've added this and this, which, let's see here. Let's go back to Tailwind and look at our adding custom styles. Appreciate that it won't be included versus always. Oh, that's neat. That will always be compiled if it's outside, but if it's inside of this components helper thing, then it will only compile this into the CSS if we're using it. So that's awesome. Oh, I see. So this would be the thing that I needed to have that other CSS file work, probably. Won't work. Adding styles without layer. Right, custom plugin. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we can do. I feel like this is the right thing, though. What if I, okay, let's go back to this part. So, oh wait, that's right, because it's a, darn it, it's a dot, it's the before. What if I do like this? No, it's still not changing anything. Oh, it's interesting. It's stuck open in the state currently. Anyhow, but this is, no, that's because that's what that's supposed to be. And then the die is the individual item, just like they did up here. The individual item has the aspect ratio. Maybe because it doesn't recognize that it's being used. Can I do this without breaking everything? And not that helps. It doesn't help at all. And what if I go like this? Also does not help. It's like none of this is actually changing anything. Let me do this to make sure it's actually changing things. Okay, it really is changing things. And if and I can put this back in here. Yep. Okay, so that definitely, that class is working, and it's in here, just like right there. And it's inside of the thing that's got grid. Sorry, just got some important messages. Let's see here. Okay, so this is applying. That's applying. Oh, I guess the question here is, like, let's look at these, and is the element getting this aspect ratio? Okay, so it's getting that. And is there a before? I don't see the before being applied, so that's, yeah. Or if I scroll down in here, do I see a before? Let's see the before and after. But what is actually, so if it's grid and it's got this aspect ratio thing, we're gonna apply this to the before. Just curious. Yeah, so it's definitely not getting added, because otherwise we would see that content. Yeah, no BS. Okay, so, and then if we put these things back in here, does that change anything? I still don't see the before stuff at all. Oh wait, let's say, what if we say dot I want to say, like, if this is the dice instead of saying, you know, grid elements. I don't think that's going to change anything, but let's just say die before, and then aspect ratio would be 1 divided by 1. So if we replace this by 1 by 1, because I don't care It's definitely being applied now. And look at that, the aspect ratio looks good. Yeah, get rid of that. Okay, the only thing now is that this is, well, it's orange. We don't need that. I don't know, maybe actually orange was better. Anyhow, this isn't centered anymore because of how this is all working. So, but before, it's adding the margins. And so now my container, my flex stuff looks like this. That is going to be an issue. If I come down, it like, that's not, no, okay. So grid item, relative width. Wow, this is using a lot of shenanigans to move things around because, like, but look at that. I mean, yeah, the text is down here, text is in the middle, so the 2-1 centered. So we have grid item content and content inside. Grid item content is just all this aligning. The grid item is, yeah, so it's the element, it's the die, it would be the die, this would be our die class. And they have it set, well, I would position relative on all of those. What does that do? Relative. I'm sure this is a terrible idea. No, it doesn't change anything. Also, we don't need this anymore, I don't think, right? Nope. Yep. Okay. So I have applied relative. We'll do width full just like theirs. Okay. And border. It's cool. Yep, we're good. Now the nth child column 1 by 3. What the heck? I think that's I have something that runs on my system every now and then to update my WSL time. I was running into issues where that it didn't have the right time, and that was really important for some sort of scheduled thing. Let's see here. Okay, so this is just, it's the first child, second child, third child. Okay, so this is everything that they did to do what they needed. So, and before padding top. So if let's remove flex, I guess. And we try and use their style components instead. So how does that work? Not quite. So we're at the bottom now, which is interesting. So wait, this doesn't have the forced aspect ratio, right? Holy moly. This is like a completely different solution, and it's making my brain hurt. Because we've got this. That's 100 divided by 1. Because 1 divided by 1 is 1. And we're doing 100% divided by 1 would be 100%, right? But we're calculating 100%. What does this actually do if we just, I don't know. I mean, we're still looks like the right aspect ratio. But this means the padding bottom is 100%. And it's an inline block. I'm just going back to look at what this was. Okay, our aspect ratio. An aspect ratio is 1 of 1. Okay, yeah, so that's interesting. And then I have this before, which we already have, and this is the padding top of 50%. So if I get rid of this, we're going to be deformed again, right? Yep. Okay. And if we get rid of this, oh wait, it's not. Okay, so we're still at the bottom. Am I missing something important here? Okay, so this is basically, they did padding top though. Did not change anything. Relative, so we got all the centering that they have. All this. And that's content. Like, it's not grid item, it's the content. So inside a grid item, there's content, and that has all this stuff. Okay, so that's a little different because then we have the grid items, which have all this stuff, and then we've got the content, which has all this other stuff. Right? Yes. So this is centering, so we can say the content. Okay, so that gives us maybe the helper we need to put this at the right place inside of here, and we just have to wrap things a little different. We'll call this the die content. Die content die. Okay, so then we got to go back to our dice config, and inside of here we would say another div with a class name of die content. And that's lower left now. I don't know if we're getting closer or further from what we need. All right, so that is exactly what they had. Only difference is, so I have all of this in their container, which is die. So we don't need any of the, oh, but that is adding things. Right? Does that change anything? No. So this is saying a grid item is the nth child. Is that It's not targeting the content, that's targeting the grid items. This is the first grid item. And we don't need any of these things. Or do we? So here, that was align, justify text, which is there we go. We can apply these. And we can apply absolute and top 0, left 0, bottoms. How do we do that? Top, left, and bottom. Interesting. Width, W full. Grid? That's okay. But we just had something say justify center and align. Okay, so that's just default. Okay, I think we have everything that we need there. Does that change? Oh, it does. Look, look. Oh, okay. So then I just need to wrap all of this content. Aren't you guys glad we did this instead of working on the battle system? I mean, it's so much more interesting. Okay, so maybe not, but still satisfying when complete. And I can apply this even to like the parent. Oop. And it'll be useful, I think. All right. And then clean this all up. There we go. Now everything should be good. All right, so we have aspect ratios contained, and everything's looking good. Do they look a little smudged to you? I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. And then we need a way to close this. So I think we'll put a. Let's see, are we using the modal? Is there a, I think there was a modal with a close button. Yeah, what does this one look like? Modal box relative, what's here? Let's try, we can just try adding this. 4. Oh, okay. Interesting. HTML4. I would not have guessed that. That does not do the trick. Oh, because I'm in the modal box, which is correct, but yep, modal box inside of, but that is my grid. So if I want to add this, I need to take and wrap everything yet one more time. So this will be here, and we'll do div class name with all this jazz, and then this will be at the end after my last grid item. Okay, now it doesn't work, but that's okay, because I don't even care. Let's say class, no, on click, handle click. This should just, oh, I'm confused as to why there were so many of those open. But hey, look at that. Okay, this is more or less what I wanted it to do. Now let's actually pull the information in here. So the die has the sides attached to it. So I can say die dot sides 0. We'll just use the token ID for a minute. And this could be undefined. Yeah, all right. So there's that. This is 1, 2. Like, I'm certain. I hate this whole copy pasting back and forth thing. It's like I kind of wish I was doing this with like a for loop and doing it programmatically, but honestly, like, it's just easy. All right, there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I need a way to translate the token ID into the actual data. So I guess I could get item on that contract. So const data token data. I mean, I need to get a handful of them though, so it's here. This is going to be trpc dot altura dot get item. Now that is basically exactly what I want, except for it's die. This is like each side, and I don't want to call each side individually. That would be silly. Side. I mean, yeah. So side 0, not token ID, and this is saying this could be undefined. Oh, sides, yes, sides 0. Now what? Yes, it's possibly undefined. So what? That? Just that? So many null, or yeah, possibly undefined. Untyped number. Wait, I'm confused. What is that returning? Hold on. Copy. Const something equals. And then if I get rid of this, side 0. Wait. Sides 0. There we go. Sides 0. This is a dice side. Yeah, so if I would then say dot, yeah, token ID. So why is it complaining down here? Die, that says sides. Yeah, it's possibly undefined. And is the problem with that? Okay, there we go. Get items complaining because expression is not, oh, because it's .use query. There we go. Number is not assignable to, oh, this needs to be item ID number. There we go. Okay, so this would return the data for 0. The item ID is 0. What I really want to do is get all of them though. I think I can get items from the Altura. It's here. Where's the developer Altura? Developer docs. And the JavaScript SDK. Get items. how do we tell it? So there's collection, right? Yeah. Do I have to use this to get, because if I get items, what is it getting items from? If I'm not passing a collection address, what would it? How would it know? Is it just getting all items from Altura? Maybe? Let's go ahead and build. Let's see here, get items. Items. Public procedure, and the input z.object. And item IDs. Perfect. An array of numbers. And then the query is going to take that input. Here. Input. And we're going to return. Let's just, I guess, do this. Return response. Okay, this could be async. Although I'm not. No, I'm not waiting. It does not need to wait. Because I'm fine with returning a promise. I don't need to type, we'll infer the type. And the contract address needs to be the ability collection. And I want to get specific items, specific token IDs. Because I don't want to just get all of them. Can I say no? All right. Get items. So we're gonna have the params, which is per page, sort by sort direction, and slim. And we have search query, which is an object. Or undefined. Does that search query have a, no, it's just object. So maybe token ID maybe? I don't know. I can try. Items. And then we can map over the sides. So we're going to say sides map. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. And let's use an effect and see what token data we get back. So use effect. Token data. Yep. Oh, what's it complaining about now? Item IDs. I guess, and if this is undefined, then yeah, we'll pass an array. Empty array. I'm okay with that. Nested CSS was detected, but CSS nesting has not been configured correctly. What does that mean? Oh, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be back in a bit. All right, well, that was actually, I guess, fortuitous timing, because it is time for me to wrap up this stream, and I actually need to eat some dinner, so I did speak with the Altura devs, though, and they said that currently we are not going to be able to filter the way that I wanted. I'd rather not have to pull up the entire collection just to get the, 6 maximum possible types. Because, yeah, even actually joining it ended up, yeah, so joining it reduced it to the 3 numbers, because the item IDs as an array. No, that would have reduced as soon as we put them in an array. No. Yeah, this could have had multiple. There's other ways. Instead of just mapping this and dumping out the token ID, because that's potentially putting in duplicates, I could add it to a set and then create a JavaScript array from the set, and the set would give me unique items, because a set can only have one of each type. There are other ways to handle that too, but that's probably the easiest. Anyhow, yeah, so alternatives in the meantime, I mean, I could probably look at this directly on chain. So let's go look at, that's true. I could just make 6 individual, sorry, I say that's true as if you guys could read what I was reading. They suggested, make 6 individual get item calls, which, it's exactly what I didn't want to do, but it would be better than parsing through potentially hundreds or thousands of abilities, right? So right now we only have 3, no big deal, but if the collection grew huge, then it would be very much not ideal. So then the question is, do I do just get item? And then that is going to require, where's my documentations? I get item takes the token ID, so collection address, token ID, collection address. Is that as a, is it just the 2, sorry. Okay, so it would just be like this, collection address, and then input dot item IDs, let's just say, so 0, and then we get rid of the rest of this. Okay, so I can do this, but instead of doing it like this, I would need to, let's do const promises equals, yep, this, except for its item ID now, and then we can return promise all promises there we go. Okay, does that technically work? It does. Look at that, not bad. So it's got the API call in there. I gotta. And here's that problem that we see. So we got 6 of these, right? When there really should only be 3, because there's only 3 abilities. So I'm making extra queries that I don't need to. All right, yeah, I need to wrap this up. So I guess we'll call it here for now. Thanks all for dropping by and hanging out. I think that this means, because once I just, so the next thing I would do would be, so here, or maybe even on this side, I could just take and reduce the input down to the set that I wanted. So const item set equals new set, and then yeah, that's exactly right. And then this would be, instead of this would be a item array from item set. Does this just do 3 then? I can say that this is a set of numbers. There we go. All right. It'd be cool if this does just go down to 3. I still have to figure that out. Why are all 3 open? I don't know. Yay, look at that. Perfect. Got our 3 different items. And yeah, so now that we have this, I can take this data. So how is that token ID mapped? So I would have to filter, I guess. So const get item name equals, we'll take item or token ID as the number, and then we'll return token data dot filter. I think that's right. Item, no, it's not item dot ID. It'd be item dot token ID. Also, would I memoize this? Yes, I know it's possibly undefined, and not really a problem. Or it's a callback, I guess. Yeah, this would be a callback. Use callback. And we wrap this all up. And we change it whenever token data is changed. I can also go ahead and wrap this so I can say if not token data return, no, just return. So now token data is not possibly undefined because I'm returning. So what is possibly undefined? Oh, because of this, I can find, right? And that's basically the same thing, but it only returns a single item. So I could do it like that, maybe. And then does that work? What's that complaining about? Oh, number undefined is not assignable to number. Well, I mean, we'll just say 0, I guess. Look at that. That's awesome. Like, I'm 100% okay with that. I mean, there's a lot that needs to be done, clearly. But all right. With this, I'm going to get out of here, or no, and 5. Look at that. Wait, why do I have slash and slash v2? Because slash would be proper 1. I don't have any 1s, right? Oh, is that because did I assign these dice? I probably did. When I created the character, so that was in the auth, right? Created the dice, it's here, and the dice template is 1, 2, and 3, but I think it should be 2, 3, and 4. And let's just go ahead and update dice side set token ID equals 4, where token ID equals 1. And then I'm going to need to wrap these. There we go. So now, yeah, there we go. Slash block and manage. Hey, I'm happy with that. This is good progress. I definitely can clean this up and make it look nicer. But, and then I guess, and figure out why all 3 of those are opening. And then I guess it might even be able to fit these in here. Slash block, like the stack 6 in here. Just make it, maybe make these slightly bigger so that they can take 6 rows. That way you could get an at a glance. Or I can just have the, well, I guess that would be better even. I can have 3 and 3 and have the icons. So yeah, this would be a grid of 3 on top and 3 on bottom, and each one would just have the icon for the ability. I like that. That's what I'll do. And then we'll create a click event in here that opens up some sort of little menu and lets you pick from your available stock an item to go on there. So then we have to have like available versus unavailable. So that's another thing, but because right now we just have token ID. So basically we'd have to like say, we take a sum of, we'll have to keep a running total on the dice of like on all 3 of them, I guess. So on all 3, it'll just be like a standard object that we return. So for all 3 dice, here are how many of each ability is on that dice. And that would be that. So, all right, I really am gonna get out of here. Thank you all for dropping by. I feel like this is neat. I'm making real progress here. So I think that the next time I stream, probably tomorrow, I'll be able to actually do a little battle system, and we can start rolling these dice and seeing what happens. So yeah, again, thanks all for dropping by. Catch you next time, and as always, happy hacking.